Alhamdulillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastaghfiruhu wa na'udhu billahi min shururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlilhu fala hadiya lahu. Wa ashhadu anna la ilaha illa wahdahu la sharika lahu wa ashhadu anna Muhammadan abduhu wa rasuluhu. Praise be to Allah. We seek His help and His forgiveness. We seek refuge in Allah from the evil of our own souls and from our bad deeds. And whomsoever Allah guides will never be led astray, and whomsoever Allah leads astray, no one can guide. I bear witness that there is no God but Allah, and having no partner, and I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam is his slave and messenger. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu taqullaha haqqa tuqatihi wa la tamutunna illa antum muslimun. You who believe, be mindful of God. You who believe, be mindful of God as is His due, and make sure you devote yourself to Him to your dying moment. Recently, when I was given this opportunity to present this khutbah today, we have one sister who actually organizes many of the speakers who come here, and she gave me this opportunity to speak today for khutbah. And right at that time, I had a video pop up in my WhatsApp. This was a video from my brother, who normally sends most of the time very religious videos. And this video had a very simple message. It was talking about Surah Ibrahim, verse 7. And I'll just translate it just to make it easier. And remember, your Lord caused to be declared publicly. If you are grateful, I will add more favors to you than you deserve. Right? If you are grateful, I will add more favors to you than you deserve. Right? This was a very simple message that came across in this video. Right? And I was like, okay, this is going to be my topic. And a lot of people these days think about the pandemic that's going on, what's happening on the streets in America and several other places all over the world, and then think about how can we be grateful during this time. It's very... Okay, let me take a look at the outside. Give me 1 second, sorry. Hopefully you can listen to me outside also now. So like I was saying, it is really tough to see what can you be grateful about in this current situation that we are in, right? But if you think about it, there are so many things that you can be grateful for. Whether it is around the pandemic, whether it is the current situations and all. And it's the simple things that we can be grateful of, right? I will go back to that verse again. One of the things it says is that you will get more than you deserve, right? And when people think about this line about you will get more than you deserve, I'm sure I personally think of myself as one of those people that I do get more than I deserve, right? Anybody who knows my wife or follows her Instagram account and know about my love of food and sweets know how much I get more than I deserve, right? So that that brings me to the few things that I can definitely think of in terms of all the things that we can be grateful for, right? Whether it is good health, my ability to stand here and talk to you, right? Beautiful things that are provided around us in terms of all the things that come to mind. A very simple thing, we go for a walk. Many people actually see me and I see some of the other folks on the walk in Steiner Ranch. And there is one position where we get a really good view of the lake when we are walking around from Steiner, right? And there are very few times that happens that I don't stop there and say Alhamdulillah, right? It just happens automatically. I've done that route thousands of times most probably, but even then, right, you see that beauty and you say Alhamdulillah, right? That's the simple things that you can be grateful for, right? And of course we have lots to be grateful for, and I keep thinking about, this is not the Thanksgiving lunch that we are trying to recall all the things that we are grateful for, but I am really very thankful for everything that has happened to me in my life. Whether it is being born in Hyderabad, India, whether it is for us to come to United States here and specifically to Austin, Texas, and we were led to this place, right? Living in multiple places in US, we landed in Austin and we felt this was home, right? Alhamdulillah, that is something that I really feel thankful about. There used to be a car sticker, I don't see that a lot anymore. It used to say something like, I was not born in Texas but got here as soon as I could, right? And that is definitely something that I feel that way when specifically talking about Austin, Texas, right? Think about, again, the masjid that we have here, right? We got the community together. This is a community effort, and we got this thing together. In 2017, it was completely burned down, but we again restarted the project with the support of everybody, and now we have a small and engaged community. What more can we be thankful about? Alhamdulillah. And then, as I was going through all of these things in terms of what can we be thankful about during this time, and of course, when you think about being thankful, you go to Surah Ar-Rahman, right? And I put that up on this side of the video. Inshallah, we'll try to figure out how to do that on both sides. I have a little device that we bought last year. Haven't made full use of it, but inshallah we'll get to use these more also, right? And if you go to Surah Rahman, right, it is very specific about things that we are or should be grateful for, right? It starts with Ar-Rahman, Allama al-Quran, right? We got the Quran. That is what we have to be thankful for, right? That's a guide that is there. Khalaq al-Insan. He created men, women, children, and that's who we all are here, right? Allama al-Bayan. We have the intellect. We have the ability to talk. We have the ability to communicate, right? That's given to us by our Lord. These are all, again, things that we are thankful for. And of course, after a few more of these things, including talking about sun, moon, stars, everything else, the statement comes, فَبِأَيِّ آلَاءِ رَبِّكُمَا تُكَذِّبَانِ? Which of the favors of your Lord are you going to deny? Right? Again, it's like, how can we not be grateful if we are observing the world as is for us? Everything points us to be grateful. Everything makes us be grateful. If we are not grateful, then what are we not observing in this world. And that statement in terms of Abi Ayi Alai Rabbikuma Tukazziban, which favors of your Lord are you going to deny? And that brings me ultimately what I am most grateful for in this world, right? We have it easy. We were born Muslims. We were born to Muslim parents who gave us ability to learn more. They made us learn all the things that we know today. Alhamdulillah, my father is still very involved and he keeps me motivated about being involved in this masjid also. Right? So that is something very important that we need to be thankful for, being born as Muslims. One of my very smart friends, topper from a university in India, once told me if he was not born a Muslim, he most probably would have been an atheist. Right? That makes sense to me. It's like if you didn't really know this, what are the things that you might have been looking for, right? And of course, I believe that Allah would have guided us to being Muslims, but who knows, right? So being thankful for being born as a Muslim is a very big part of what I look for. And then as we are talking about this, we just had a visitor just before Jummah today, William White, who just joined us on the care team in Austin. He's a convert. And that's where one of the things I have a lot of huge respect for converts, because they are the people who have actually researched, they have been led by Allah to do that research, and they took the action to become Muslims. Again, we got it easy. They are the ones who actually got to choose to be Muslims. Right? So that's a very important part about what we are doing here as Muslims. And being part of Muslims also means that we have been given a guide in the person of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? He was the living Quran. He was the person that we look to as our guide. Right? There are so many things that we can all learn as Muslims or even as non-Muslims from his life. Right? I put a little, I don't know if my browser is on the web there, but there are a number of authors who have written books on Prophet Muhammad. So it's not just the Muslim authors that we are talking about. In 1978, there was a book that came out saying 100 most influential men in the history. It's not just today, it's not just a few years back, it was in history. And the number one spot that was given in that book was for our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Right? And Michael Hart again released the book in 1992. He was asked to review that, saying, why did you give that first spot to Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? And his answer was very simple, saying, how many people can be defined by all of these terms that I'm using here? A social reformer, a diplomat, a merchant, a philosopher, an orator, legislator, and a military leader. Right? So those are the qualities that we have in the Prophet that we can look for as a guide in his life and direction. And I highly recommend people to read the books, not just from, of course, if you have access to all the Muslim authors and can go back and read the Arabic and go through those, that's great. But if you're just starting out, there are a number of authors such as Karen Armstrong, such as Martin Blaines, and all who have written very decent books. Of course, there are a few controversies on all books that are not written by Muslims, but they are a good place for you to start. Right? So there's a new author called Ted Considine who recently visited Boston also, and one of the things he pointed out, which is really interesting in today's world, right? If you look around everywhere today, one of the key items that is happening around the world is the struggle for diversity, is the struggle for equity, is the struggle for inclusiveness, right? And Prophet Muhammad is the first man known in history who had taught equality among all people. Nobody is different in the eyes of Allah. Whether you are an African, whether you are an Arab, whether you are a South Asian, right? Everybody is equal in the eyes of Allah. And that equality was taught by Prophet Muhammad as the first person who is able to do something like that. Right? We're going to take a brief break here. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر له لي ولكم, which means these words of mine, and I ask Allah for forgiveness if I made any mistakes. Allahumma salatu wassalamu ala Rasulullah. My thanks and guidance belong to Allah, the Lord of mankind, and I ask Allah to bless and bestow peace on Prophet Muhammad. To continue on this thought about thankfulness, right? And gratefulness. Gratefulness, shukr, goes together with sabr, right? That's something that very much goes together. Anytime you're grateful, you also are patient and you're thankful. Lots of things are happening in the world currently, right? Which require us to be both have the patience as well as the gratefulness that we have in our heart. If you have the gratefulness and the patience, you do not go towards violence. You do not go towards extremism. And that is one of the things that is happening in the name of the Prophet, right? And that's something that we think and we need to figure out in terms of within our own communities. How do we stop radicalization in terms of people who are going on that, right? And one of the things about radicalization is sabr and shukr. If you are patient and if you are grateful, these are the two things that stop you from anger, right? Not many people talk about this, but there is a lot of domestic violence in our communities also. That's part of the anger. There is violence outside of the homes also. That's what we are seeing in some of the streets and everything else. And if you think about violence, violence is completely opposite to sabr and shukr, right? And that's something that we have to remind ourselves. We have to remind the people that we work with, the people that we deal with, instead of hate. There's actually a program that has been started recently. Instead of hate, educate, right? Don't hate the people who talk bad about the Prophet. Educate them, right? And that's something that we should be trying for, inshallah. And as we move forward, feel that we are basically the ambassadors. We represent what Muslims are in this country. And if you think about, again, like I said, I'm very grateful for being in this country, in Texas, in Austin. One of the main reasons for that is we are free to choose in every way possible, right? We are free to choose our religion. We are free to choose whatever we want to do. We have professionals, doctors, everybody within our community, and we all choose to practice. We all choose to be here on the Friday, right? for prayers. We choose to come to the masjid on a regular basis. Right? This is the choice we have. And that's something I'm very thankful about. There are places where this may not be possible. Right? That's why I believe that we all need to be involved as part of our civic duty, as part of being Muslims, to be part of this community. Right? Show up in PTA meetings. Be involved with kids' schools. Right? If your kids go to regular schools. Right? Be involved with elections. Be involved in multi-faith activities. Right? We all have that responsibility as a minority to be able to take advantage of the choice that has been given to us and be the Muslims that we can be. Inshallah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. O Lord, give us good